Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hi, Samantha. I am good.
Good. Hey, listen, welcome to another episode of the Inventor Spotlight, brought to you by the Inventor Smart Community and the National Inventor Club. You are our honored guest for Inventor episode number 13. So welcome, welcome.
Good.
I'm going to try to say your name correctly. Dan Dimitriu. Do I have that correct?
Perfect.
Woo!
Absolutely perfect.
Wonderful. So here at the Inventor Smart community, we have just a full community full of independent, amazing inventors. And I know you became a member just a few months ago, and
Yes.
we've talked before, and I just find you absolutely fascinating. I know that you're from Romania originally. I know
Yes.
you have a couple of master degrees, you have a PhD, you're an engineer, you have a science and math background, you've written
Yes.
a couple of books, you love to invent toys. So
Yes.
personally, for me, your background is just incredible, and I can't wait to give you the floor and hear all about it. Again, for those just kind of joining in or new to the Inventor Smart community, my name is Sam. This is Dan, and we like to highlight our inventors within our community. You bring so much value and inspiration. So, Dan, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I want to start by presenting myself, where I am from, and so on, because yes, you gave a good introduction, but I like to make the introduction with video. I have my background. I present here my education and licenses, and I will explain why they drove me here. So, hi, I am Dan Dimitriu, and I was born in Romania, Bucharest, and that's the hospital. I was born on 16th of October 1947, and the last month I just celebrated 77 years. And then I graduated from the high school, Lyceum Lazar, and my first master was in 1970. I got it in mechanical engineering from Polytechnic Institute. Then I got in 1971, I enrolled for 3 years at the Popular School of Art, where I got an associate degree in graphic arts, because my dream was to become a Disney. And so I needed some, art background. But Romania didn't have a major, cartoon industry, so I stayed engineer. Then I got another master in business administration, specialized in international economic relations, and that was in 1979. And again, after that, in 1982, I defected from Romania. I went to the refugee refugee camp, and that's the map that I have from again the refugee camp. When I got the acceptance to come to the United States, I wanted to see where the Romanians are. And guess what? I ended up, no, go back. I ended up in Fargo, North Dakota, where there were no Romanians. I was the only one. So that's why I put them up. I have all those are Romanian ancestry people. But I ended up where the star is in Fargo, North Dakota. That's where the sponsorship came. So, all right. In the meantime, I love water, so I became a licensed scuba diver, and really I did some really nice dives. I got my professional engineering license in North Dakota, and again, as an engineer, I worked all these years with other engineers, and this helped me join the community better. I invented a lot of stuff, and I got a PhD for this. And then I came to San Antonio. After I got my PhD, I got a job here. And coming here at San Antonio, I became licensed tax advisor because I had the MBA, so I wanted to support it with H&R block training. So that's where I functioned in after program for about a year. Then, because I like games, I became certified play expert from ASRA in 2022. So now the last one is to be continued because I won't stop here. I want to learn more. So that's where I am. That's my presentation. Now,
Bravo, bravo, bravo. That was really good. I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed. You're so amazing on so many levels. I mean, I don't even know what you're going to do next. Okay. I'm
okay.
so happy to know you right
You
now.
didn't see anything yet. So the presentation is again.
I love
My next presentation is what inventions I did while being hired. Very important because my life had three prongs: the being hired, being an independent, and teaching. Hired, but teaching, not doing engineering. So the creative life as being hired started in Romania. For 8 years, I designed chemical plants and chemical equipment, and you can move it down. That is, I did plants. Those are pictures similar to the things that I did in chemical industry.
I love how you have these presentation slides ready to go for us to explain all this about your incredible life. I'm literally captivated. So we'll let Andy move the slides for us, and we'll go on to the next presentation.
But this is the next one.
Brilliant. It's just brilliant. Thank you, Dan.
Okay, Andy.
What's up?
Can you move the slide?
Different slide?
Yeah, the creative
Yeah,
life
we'll do the creative life slide. Yes, sir.
while being hired.
Sorry, I guess it wasn't moving. Okay.
Yeah, that's there you go. So first I started once I earned my master, I started working in chemical industry. I designed and invented all kinds of chemical equipment and so on. Then I stayed there for 8 years. And then the next one is a major earthquake hit Romania in 77. And if you look the red light there, the red line is where the main earthquake went. And I was there where the star is, the gold star. It was a very, very, very scary situation. So then from that moment, I was recruited to work in mining industry. And I worked with self-advancing roof supports and long wall cutting machines. And this is me on site checking how the machines work with a colleague. So that is me as a miner underground. And it's really exciting, a different world. Again, refugee, I defected. And then next one is my strong thing. I was an illegal alien working. And that's me. If you look here on the top, I am on that roof. And this is another picture of me. And this was a 900-year-old castle that I was hired to help restore it. And you can see here all the one that I worked on and how it looks now. Exactly that is the tower that I was working on. And I was looking at the entrance with the moat. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The next one, that was an experience, a unique thing. And this is how it looks, us on scaffolding at the time and how the Kotingsbrunn Castle looks now. And it's fantastic. Again, this is United States. I moved from refugee camp into United States. And when I arrived in Fargo, I started working in a year. I worked at North Dakota State University, but I also did some private work as a consultant. So I was hired as director of engineering at Dynamic Industries. And my first American patent was this one that was translated in this machine that we were building. So that is my first American. This is the second one that was, we worked on it when the company was sold. And the patent was abandoned. What a success. But the company that bought us didn't believe in patents, so they didn't want to pursue and spend the money. So it died. But I had a very, very, very successful presentation at the Milwaukee convention where we launched the machine. Then for 3 years, I was an editor, technical page in a Romanian newspaper. I was its editor in Romanian. Of course, I was speaking Romanian. What else? And then that is my invention. I invented a unique combustion chamber to study the diesel combustion. And when I presented it at the Society of Automotive Engineers, I had standing room only because it was for the first time. I have a lot of stories about this one. Anyway, I had a really unique idea. I published papers, and this is the vice president of the Society of Automotive Engineers that came in person to see my invention. That's me, at the time. All right. Then with that, I graduated. I got my PhD. This is my mom. This is my wife. And this is our Bison, North Dakota State University. With that, I came to San Antonio. And I was hired by KCI, Kinetic Concepts Incorporated. And I had a patent that was the next one. The Triadyne is my flagship invention. Because if you look next, that is the patent, and we won $85 million patent infringement from the competition. And that was my baby. And again, with that, I went more. I had more patents. You can see them. Bariatric system. I was a co-inventor. And another one. And I became the expert in medical support surfaces, and I designed one of the first support for CT mammography that is different from mammography. And this was my design that I did for this medical procedure. Again, I became a medical engineer. And I designed something for aviation also. Those are things that I did while being hired at the KCI. Here is Prism. Prism hired me as vice president of engineering. And I became a gynecological engineer. And that is, again, my invention is, I was an expert in problem birth. If you think about the birth is a mechanical act, and I was a mechanical engineer. You pass a body through a small opening. That's the job of a mechanical engineer. So I became an expert in vacuum extraction, and I created also forceps with the force measuring device. This is my first gynecological patent, vacuum extraction cup, and I have more. This was another one. All my patents and with their application. And next, this is that back. This one is amniotic membrane perforator. My invention was in 1998. Was the best-selling amniotic membrane perforator on the market. And so that is my baby. I have the prototype in my room, the first one, and it's really beautiful. That is my baby. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the other ones, but this looks good. Next one. This is a vacuum extractor pump that, again, when company was sold, was moved to our competitor. So at that moment, I became really, really upset with these hostile takeovers. And comes the next one. I became hired at San Antonio College as the engineering coordinator there. And I published papers, I published books, I did all kinds of stuff. These are the books that I published. I went to NASA. I invented, the next one is NASA. I invented, I was in the engineering directorate. I invented fluid storage tank. Then I went to zero-G testing. That was the famous vomit comet. I flew that, and that is where you are the closest being an astronaut, experience the lack of gravity. And then I went with my students, and we created, that's my team, a car that was fuel cell, and we won the first time in 2017, the third place in prototype category, and the next one we won the first place. And this is the first place, and we were competing against MIT and Purdue. So that's my, again, my team with the students and the creation, the second car. And the next one, what do I have? That's it. That is the Yoda, to be continued. So that was being hired.
Wow.
It was successful. Being hired, I was successful in everything I invented. And now comes the second part, education. And I have the presentation, what I invented in education. Because that's, again, I consider that education is something that we need to improve in the United States, because when I came to the United States, I was surprised how little preparation the students had in high school. And I started in Romania. I was an evening professor, a lecturer at an industrial college, teaching engineering courses. And then when I defected, I came to USA. I started the first week I set foot in on American soil. I got hired by NDSU because I got there with my degree. And the dean said, look in his book, and he said, oh, Dan, this is worth a master here. By the way, do you want to teach here? Because we need a professor that is experienced in metric. And I said, oh, my goodness, what system do you have? And he said, we are inches and pounds. And I said, I swear that was my question. With this system, you went to the moon? And he said, yeah, I believe it. And I was a strong supporter of moving the system, the US, into metric. But the politicians screwed up. Anyway, that's my office at NDSU and so on. Then I had some friends at Morehead State University, and they had an opening, and they couldn't find somebody to teach. So I went there, and I was visiting professor at Morehead State University, across the Red River in Morehead. And then I started, as I said, at San Antonio College, and I got so many awards. I didn't put all of them. Excellence, whatever. And I started a program at the Duzeum here in town, teaching kids to make toys that instruct other kids to learn about physics and other concepts in math and so on. And that was a very successful, I published a paper for that one. And the next one is, this is again, in 2015, I received the Presidential Award for Excellence in Science, Math, and Engineering in Washington. And then I had a meritorious award from AACE. And what else do I have? In the meantime, our program got in the top 10 in the nation. Our community college engineering program was ranked in top 10 engineering. And also in parallel, I was at UTSA here in town, University of Texas. I was part-time there. And Our Lady of the Lake there. for about 9-10 years. I developed a graduate program, math for engineering for teacher, E4E, engineering for educators. And in 21, I decided to retire. So I became a professor emeritus. That's the diploma. And then I couldn't stay put. In 2022, I entered in the LCAS program, developing spatial skill and visualization training for STEM careers. And again, that's my motto, to boldly play like no one has played before. As I said, I'm a Trekkie, so yes. And in parallel, I am now, tomorrow I have class at Bob Ross. I developed a Sharper Mind program based on the one that I have at Young Minds. It's for senior citizens at WASIS, at San Antonio, Doris Griffin, and San Antonio, Bob Ross. So I have the class tomorrow, and if I want this to be available for people that want to ask me, because I want to monetize the program. It can be spread all over the United States. So I want to push it somehow. I'm a one-man show. I have no other resources. So I want somebody to say, hey, I like that. Let's do something with it. And I am game. That's my teaching.
Well, bada boom. I mean, Dan, this is just incredible. Thank you for this very thought out presentation, this amazing overview of what you've been involved with. And truly, sir, your accomplishments are just mind blowing. And I know as I'm saying this, I know you've heard it before, but it's really, truly remarkable. And your contribution to so many.
Listen.
things.
From that point, yes, probably. But from me, that was life. I don't know. I didn't aim to be, whoa, I want to be the Nobel Prize winner. But it came. And, Presidential Award for Education is the highest in the United States. It's like an educational Oscar. It came. So the NSF and was 2015. I got it.
Well, again, these are amazing accomplishments of contribution to so many things in your industry and your space. And, listen, you have a ton of energy and excitement, and clearly you're not retired. You're not done. You're still working on things. So tell us more about the toy industry.
Exactly. Now that's the presentation I have last.
Okay, let's roll, man. Let's get into it. I'm excited. I want to see more.
All right. Yes. Andy, hit me. Look at that. As a freelancer, again, I was freelancer only in the United States because Romania didn't have freelancing. So that is my life in the United States. And coming here, I had a hobby of developing games since I was about 10, 11, because Romania did not allow Monopoly to be played because it was capitalist propaganda. I invented Monopoly by myself. I saw the pictures and I made the Monopoly with my own rules. And when I came to United States, I said, I need to do this by the book. And these were the two books that I consider the best advanced invention game inventors guidebooks, and I followed them. So that's my games. I guarantee that they are playable, and I tested them. So as an engineer, I know what I do, and I consider that my product should be operational when it goes out there. So my first patent was a maze game with parts and stuff in a box. 35 companies I contacted. None of them wanted to even take a look at my patent because they were saying, oh, maybe we have something similar to your patent and then you will claim that we infringe your patent. They didn't want to look. And I got so mad. I was freshly out of refugee camp. I didn't have any money. And I abandoned the patent. Guess what? About a year or two after I abandoned the patent, 2 companies came out with similar games with my game. So I was disgusted. This is my freelance, not well hired. I was trying to put my games out there.
Right.
Regardless, it was a failure. And here is another one next. I published a book in 2015. It was in 6 months, became a bestseller. The publisher called me and said, Dan, congratulations, your book is a bestseller. Now, don't think that I was competing with 50 Shades of Grey. No, I was a manual that was a training manual. So that was the book and after several years, I saw that was a bestseller in Japan. Anyway, based on that book, the next slide, I, together with my daughter, we invented a game called Cryptoglyphs and won the Best Educational Concept Award. And it was really something else. I had people coming after 11 companies were chasing us to get the game. But slowly they tried to dumb it down. And at one point, one guy came to me and said, in a Zoom, in a video, he said, Dan, listen, I cannot take your game to a pub and replace their darts with your game. And I said, of course. It's an educational game, not for a pub. I like to go on pubs, but not to play this. So I said, let's do next. I had this game developed for education, and I have here the samples. You can see them, and it's a fantastic game. Kids love it, parents love it, teachers love it. I cannot produce it. It costs money, and I don't have the finances to invest and create because you need to advertise. You need to advertise. This is a thing that you should think about. When I was working on this, I asked the National Science Foundation to give me a small grant to help me develop these modules. And they rejected it because I said I invented some 3-dimensional letters. And they rejected it because I could buy 3-dimensional letters at every craft store. And that was the comment. They rejected and they are different. And once we are done presenting, I show them. They are totally, people that saw this, they said, wow, fantastic. How do I produce it? I have no idea. And it's frustrating because look, from the years I started having the patent, I still cannot have a company taking it and making. You need to advertise it and show the advantages. I have proof. I used it for years in my school and here at LCATS. I have results. But I need a company to make it and advertise it. Anyway, that's another game. Here I have another one. When they said that I don't have a game for a pub, I created the UFOs that has these straws like the straws that you see outdoors for pool, and you have the flying saucers and you have to fit them in between and you win points for that. Very cheap, very easy, and so on. So that is the UFO game. Then next one. This is another Pride. I published another book, and it's based on Lego. And Lego said they don't accept outside submissions, and I'm still using it with my book and Lego bricks, but Lego could do a much better job spreading the word. How the concept, this is a new concept, and I published the results in a paper, and everybody loved it. But where is the marketing, the people getting to use this one? Because this is a STEM specific game. Anyway, next one. This is another one. I got a patent for cylindrical games, and they are beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. This is, again, this is one of them. This is the cylindrical chess.
Ooh, it's pretty.
Right there. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's also, and you should see how you can play checkers on this one.
Ooh.
Because you don't have a border here. So you can go, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And again, this is a patent, I go nowhere, and I don't know. It's hard to manufacture something like that. Anyway, next. This is another thing. I designed this. It's the cheap, all that you can get it for about $1. The Aztec pyramid. And you have to put the balls with a stick on this, and you have the trajectory with different challenges to put it on the top. Who gets there first wins the game. Cheap. It's blow molding. And I still have it there. And I asked my patent attorney. He said it's not patentable. Ah. All right, next. This is a game I call it Puzzle Build that has dots on different tiles, and you can create letters. This game was really good for my students to help them improve dyslexia reading, because they said after we played with your letters, we read better. And I read about dyslexia, and I saw that dyslexia has a big component visual. So visualization is part of not the treatment, helping them become better readers. I cannot find people to test it because they are afraid. Schools say they have to follow the school district policies, and if I don't have the numbers, they don't change the policy and so on. I don't have the numbers because I had engineering students, but I saw the problem and I have a solution. Visual simulation. Again, I don't know where in the world I can find dyslexic students to show that it works. Anyway, next. This is Hoopaloop. Yes, again, less than $1. You have this one with 3 different places. You put the string in each one of them. Each one is challenging because you have different movement of the ball. And the complexity is not a round hoop, is square. And you have to match diagonal and the side, and it's much more difficult to evaluate how you guide the ball into that loop. Again, it's probably less. This one has an attachment that you can move it from hole to hole. It's there. It's less than $1. Less than $1. How do I make it? I don't know. I need a company to do it. Next. Yeah, I had this fun this summer on my backyard table maze that you drive with the hands and the ball is on this side and you put it in the center and you have all kind of traps that you can lose the ball and can be played in the pool, in the water. So you have all kind of challenges because the waves are moving it and so on. So it's very difficult and challenging. I'm still waiting to have somebody to make it. These are money on the table.
Right. Clearly, you have an abundance of great ideas.
I am not done. This is a finger golf. You have a ball here, and you have the golf track here, the course with 5 sets, and who gets the ball in the color. This is red to red, white to white, yellow to yellow, and you have hazards sand, little sand, big sand, and mounds and so on. Rough terrain and so on. Finger, and you drive it. It's cheap. You put it on the table. I did it on my. So, not. I didn't make this. I fake it with the truck on the table with silly putty and stuff. I didn't have the money to make the whole disc, and it's there. You get again vacuum form, and you have it done, and you sell it. This is broken shapes. It's right here. Broken shapes. It's a box right here. And I have 10 shapes. And the kids love it. It's very cheap. You cut them and you put them together. Every color is a shape. So you cannot make mistakes. That is again, this is a very good one. We played it, and this is for kids, the short and the long. It's 3 sections. And this one, I developed it to be implemented in casinos. The casinos, I love casinos in Las Vegas. And they don't have a game, that kind of game. And since I came to United States, I was looking to see what new games they have. They don't have something of this category. And I don't know, I tried to write to Steve Wynn and all that. They don't even want to look at me. I don't have the money to pay agents and find agents for that. I have to demonstrate that works and so on. This is Flippers, is another game that I created, and it's really fun. And again, this is Duel of Sorcery, and you build a beautiful castle, and being a sorcerer, and who builds the castle first wins the game. And then the next one, what else? I have the Star game, and this is a very nice, sweet game. You start from your color with 4 pegs, and you aim to put a peg in your color at the opposite end. And you just move with what the dice show. It's very simple, it's brainless. And the next one, I became the Astra certified play expert to support my games and recommend them for STEM and other type of activities. And again, my last is, do you see what I wrote there? Samantha, what did I write?
Haeen?
No.
Ah.
H-A-V. V. V-E.
Oh, I see it. Yes.
Have fun. F-U-N.
Have fun. There it is. Brilliant.
That's my 3D visualization. And I forgot to mention my spinner. That is the dumbest toy. I wanted to make it smarter. This is the rock, paper, scissors, and I call it the executive decision maker. And you do that, and it's executive. Or if you want for kids, I have this one with the dice, and you can play. I hate dumb games. I hate them. And the spinners are dumb. Don't do anything. This one has a competition. You see who gets the whole idea is you play it like this, and you stop it, and you have opposite to your finger what's the value. And it's a paper or rock or scissors. Again, I went to the manufacturers, and they said they are not interested. Absolutely not interested. So all my individual creations, not hired, are in limbo. They are in the twilight zone. They exist, but they are not alive. And I am real. That's why I really wish that with this meeting that we have here, other people in the community or people from industry that are interested will come and ask. And I am here. I have prototypes. The prototypes are here. I put them there. If you want to see them, I can show them. But they are ready. I designed them and I made them in 3D modeling, so they are available. Like I said, I had the chest right here, and everything that I presented, I have it here. So
I think we can all identify with, you're definitely a serial inventor. I mean, your mind is just brilliant, right? You're really, thinking out, the difference of the toys and how they're tying with the educational. I mean, I'm listening to all this. I get it. I've spoken with you before. I love your energy. I love all this about you. And I understand that it's frustrating. Like as inventors, where do we go? The money, the manufacturing, the distribution. Who's going to license these great ideas, right? And I feel that you're frustrated. I see the hands going in frustration. I'm really glad that you've joined this community. And here's the thing, too. You're not alone, right? You're not alone. You have some brilliant, really thought-provoking ideas and some games that I'm interested. I'm like, I want to see where these develop. But you're not alone in this space where there is frustration and where do we go? But I'm glad that you've joined us so we can kind of be in this a little bit together, right? We all have our individual journeys that we've got to travel.
Yes.
Listen, I can't say anything to you that you haven't heard before, sir.
I know.
You've got some serious accomplishments. So my question to you is, and kind of what I want to throw at you is, like, to me, I'm like, it's just a matter of time. Maybe just the timing for you, sir. It's just the timing hasn't just aligned yet. That's the only answer that I kind of have. Not that you're asking me a question. I think you're just having that frustration of overall. But to me, it's simply down to timing.
I would say more than timing. The reason why I thought that I hit some really good companies that are a good match, but they rejected because one of them said they don't want to cannibalize their toys and games. Another one said that, yes, we are overwhelmed with our own project. We don't take any other project. I have all kinds of answers.
Right.
So the timing, Samantha, the time is anytime. It's coming the next Christmas. It's coming the summer vacation. People could use the things for backyard and so. Where are they? And the thing is, I paid money to a company that said, I will be your agent. And they did it. And they proved to me, they wrote about 50 letters. Pretty much, this was at the time with my first game. And they proved that they mailed, at the time was mail, not email, to 50 different companies. And I was upset and I said, okay, so what are the results? They were not interested. So what's the difference from what I did? I paid them to do what? Now I'm looking for partnership. When somebody says that wants to help me, I said, good, help me. I give you a share of whatever proceedings you get. Because if there is no skin in the adventure here, they can say, hey, Dan, we did what we wanted, what we needed to do, but not interest. Mm-hmm. And so on. That's why I'm waiting for see who would partner with me. And I'm not greedy. I know that these games will take off and will be enough for everybody.
Right.
No, I don't have some cheap crap and so on. I have good games. And as I said, they are cheap, but they are challenging. They are very easy to manufacture.
Right. Well, I think I understood when you were saying cheap games, we have to stay in that manufacturing mind too as inventors, because we know that's attractive to buyers, Listen, again, Dan, we don't have to talk about the toy trade shows and how much of the boots on the ground. the licensing that kind of we have to attract ourselves. Inventing is not easy, and it is common to find a marketing company. I mean, there are a dime a dozen, right? And I've met a lot of inventors that get caught up in that expense of it all, and they really are kind of let down, right? Or they feel like they've wasted a lot of money. I'm not talking about thousands of dollars to hire these companies to submit your product ideas, just like that we can do ourselves, right? Those are tough lessons learned, right? So, Dan, I know that you have some experience in that area with the licensing and the marketing companies that we were just talking about. So,
Yes.
how do you feel about some of that?
I don't want to say I feel bad, but it left a taste that is unpleasant. I had several companies helping me find a place where my games can be manufactured. I paid the fees, but nothing was done. I started doing myself the stuff, and since the GPT, I asked GPT to recommend what the companies can help me with my specific games. And I applied to them, and there are three alternatives. They don't answer, or they say they are not interested, or they say we are looking for something else, and so on, if they respond.
Okay.
So basically, nobody said, I don't like this game, because I have them. They are all ready-made. I tested them and so on. And so I am ready to show them. And not only that, but there is a problem that left me with a very bad taste about so-called entrepreneurship. I tried to have a company. I found a partner, and we formed a company in 2020. And after a while, in 3 years, I felt that I wasn't wanted anymore, because I asked, we had 2 games ready, and I asked to put my name on my games. They are mine. I have the patent for them. And they refused. And then I got really upset, and I realized that, hey, I am unwanted here, and I wanted to get out of that partnership. I'm still 1/3 owner, but in 4 years I didn't see any financial anything, and they are pretty much doing their stuff.
Right.
And what bothers me is that that's why I wanted to show you. I have here, this is the game that I invented in the refugee camp. I carried it with me because it has a value, emotional value, and it's really going strong. But again, the company didn't want to put my name because they said I don't bring any value to the marketing and so on. So right now, they don't even mention my name on their website. I want to show that I have these cryptoglyphs that are 3D letters.
Are those 3D letters?
Yes, the 3D letters.
All right, let's circle back around to kind of where we just said that you face a lot of challenges. And then
the challenges are continuous, and I don't know how to overcome them at this point. That's why I want to see that I can develop a partnership with some more experienced people. There is that website that is Score. Are you familiar with Score?
Yeah, very familiar with Score and the SBA. Okay. They're partners with the Inventor Smart community.
I went there and I asked for help. 3 people at different times wanted to help me. And they abandoned me because my situation is so complex that they couldn't. And they said they were volunteers and so on. So I have no idea how to overcome this, because again, it's a lot of potential to have fun, and I want to commercialize my program. I just came this morning, I had a class and it was a blast, and I want to spread the word. How do you do it? Again, I have now 4 centers where I have this program. 3 are senior citizens and 1 the LCATs.
Right.
I try to, I have a program to help with dyslexia. I don't have where to test it because nobody wants to get involved. So what am I supposed to do?
All right, let's just, sometimes when I get like this and I get kind of frustrated and overwhelmed and like every door I'm knocking on just feels closed, or whatever that vibe is that we can create as inventors, and, it gets very frustrating. And, you've been doing this for a while, man. I know that you know what you're talking about, right? And you've reached a level of, I'm really frustrated. I need a breakthrough, dang it. I need my breakthrough. So let's just talk off the cuff, right? We're just friends. So, I'm not here to offer advice or
I didn't expect.
I mean, I don't even know if I can hold a candle to your accomplishments and what you've got going on. But what I do know, and I do believe this, is just a human spirit, right? Is sometimes when we are feeling, just it's coming at us and we can't quite figure it out. Sometimes I just revert back to the basics, right? I kind of slow everything down and I go back to the basics of what I know. And in my learning and teachings of, inventing and projects and entrepreneurships, sometimes we have to slow it down and go back to the beginning. So even just finding one toy that you really are the most passionate about and where it could do the most impact. And I've suffered with some dyslexia in my life as well. So I'm really drawn to that part of it. So maybe, Dan, just back to the basics, finding that one piece, you decide which one that is for you. And let's circle back around and just start from the beginning again. Because what we do know is technology and advancing is changing all the time, right?
Yes.
New people are coming into the licensing field. Other people are coming out. New opportunities are opening all the time. All the time. We just have to stay resilient. And like I've been trying to point out, circle back down to the basics. Listen, I'm not trying to be this rah-rah cheerleader and, hey, you got this. I'm accepting your frustrations, man. I get it. I've been there myself. But how do you, now that you're a part of the Inventor Smart community, I know that you jump into the app and you attend some of the meetings. I'm hoping that our community has given you a little bit of encouragement and inspiration, because you should know that you're around a ton of other people that are kind of going through some of the same struggles.
Yeah, I know. And the problem is that I have high expectations, but again, I'm at a point where I don't know what to do next, and I don't know. I don't feel that I saw a movie about Van Gogh, and remember that he never sold one of his paintings. He became famous only after he was gone. And I have the feeling that all my games will become popular once I am gone.
Oh my gosh, don't say that. You're going to get me to cry and be emotional. What a very tender thing to say, right?
Yes, because I don't see.
Listen, we have to find inspiration as well. And, and I think of documentaries like Pixar, or even Steve Jobs, or Oprah Winfrey. I mean, there's so many examples that we can look at for inspiration, especially for feeling kind of down and frustrated. This is a great interview too, because this is real talk. I mean, it's raw. You're frustrated. You feel like you.
Yes, no, that's why I accept it.
We can tell just by our interview today, you are extremely talented. uber intelligent. You know, you've got great products. I believe in you. You know, like I said, let's get back to the basics. Maybe we should find one and let's make a really good sales sheet. Right? If you want some help doing that, man, I'll jump in with you on that one. Let's make a really creative sales sheet and let's pitch it to a couple of companies. By the way, I love the idea that you just gave us by using AI to suggest and recommend companies. I've been doing this for a hot minute and I use AI ChatGPT all the time and I didn't think to do that. So thank you for inspiring us with new ideas. You know, I know that you're an educator and you teach classes and you're involved in all kinds of things. I'm so grateful that you joined us on this podcast episode of Spotlight Inventors. You are episode 13. And you listen,
That's my lucky number.
13 is a lucky number. All right.
Yes.
Come on now. So
I know. It's my lucky number.
Is it?
Yes.
See?
Yes.
Look, things are turning around already. Look, man, you inspire me. I know your background. I know that you're a talented toy creator. You're an amazing inventor. So maybe we'll close out 2024 of that was then and this is now. Maybe back to the basics. Let's do a sales sheet on at least one of your products. And I know a couple of weeks ago we had
every product I have has a sales sheet.
Well,
yes.
Let's refresh them, redo them, renew them, whatever it takes with new set of eyes. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to mention there is a gentleman that joined one of our meetings a couple of weeks ago, and his name is not registering to me right now, but I'll see if he's going to be on one of our meetings. He's very involved in the toy industry, very involved. So and he's an inventor himself. I'm going to look him up and see if I can find him. And maybe we can connect you two on an email just for conversation and industry talk.
And eventually,
we can put new light.
Yeah, eventually I'm looking for a partnership. I have the whole thing is too much for one single person.
Yes.
I'm not good in marketing. And there is all kind of other activities. I am a design engineer all my life. Yes. And you saw the success that I had while hired with my inventions. Right. I invented all the time. Well, now my private invention doesn't work. I don't know.
Like I said, nothing's over. You're just being honest and sharing your frustrations about the longevity and how long it takes of being an inventor. And listen, man, I can respect that. I think we've all been there. But again, I don't know you very well, but I know enough to where I think you're a pretty resilient guy. And so you've had a couple of doors closed, but let's see if we can get some opened for the new year.
Absolutely. And again, if you have connections, that's what I want. I am here for connections.
Well, and that's what, again, that's why Brian, kind of invented this app and put everything together so that we could come together as a community. And we know that nothing is built overnight. This Inventor Smart community has grown exponentially just in a year. New people are coming in all the time. So this is where we try to do our best to connect people to network together. We meet in person. We have online events. Of course, if you want to learn more about Inventor Smart, you can just go to your Apple Store, your Google Play, and grab the Inventor Smart community app. Download, become a member. We're also brought to you by the National Inventor Club, where we have members all across the United States and beyond. And a lot of us are in the same shoes. A lot of us are in just different stages and phases. And Dan, you are always welcome as one of our members, and our Spotlight episode 13 for the National Inventor Club and Inventor Smart community. And I love your energy, and I think you're just honest and raw, and I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to have met you in this forum, and I look forward to connecting and doing more stuff with you in the near future. Does that sound good?
Absolutely. I want to turn this as an example to be followed.
There we go. And we're going to wrap and leave it at that. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you so much for having me. And anytime you need more, like a sequel, I'm here.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you
We're
so
going to do the sequel. That sounds good. All right. Well done. Well done.
Absolutely. Invention 101 is this one, and 201 the next day.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, man. Well, Merry Christmas to you and Happy
Merry
New Year.
Christmas. Thank you so
All right,
much.
brother.
And so,
All right.
bye.